Hello and welcome to FPL Kids. I'm Blake and I'm joined by my dad, Matt. On this podcast, we talk about FPL. It's mainly just for kids.
Hello, Blake.
Hello.
You excited about Christmas?
Yes.
How many days till Christmas?
It's 4.
4 days.
Yep.
Yeah, that explains my hat hope.
Yeah.
What do you want to say to people?
If you haven't already, subscribe to our YouTube channel right now.
Or maybe after they've watched the live.
Yeah, or maybe after.
Yeah.
It depends.
If you are listening to this on like the podcast later, then there is a video of this. You can watch live.
Yeah.
You can watch the video.
Yeah, the video.
Yeah. We'll put a link to the video in the podcast description.
Yeah, let's put that there.
Great. What are we going to talk about then on this live?
We're going to talk about the World Cup Fantasy Roundup, rounding up World Cup Fantasy, and my plans for when FPL returns.
You excited about FPL?
Yes.
You look excited.
Yes, I do.
So you want to talk about FPL? No, not FPL. Fantasy World Cup.
Yes.
How did it go? Did you enjoy the World Cup?
Yeah, apart from the final.
A lot of your listeners will know that you were a big France supporter.
Yep.
You're not wearing your France top today, though.
Yeah.
No, show them what you're wearing today.
My Leeds kit.
Is that because Premier League's coming back?
Yeah.
You've stopped wearing your France kit now?
Yeah.
Are you going to keep on supporting France?
Yes.
Are you sure? Because you were just a
Yes.
Glory supporter and now they're not the world champions.
I know. I'm going to keep on supporting France.
You're going to be loyal to France for no apparent reason other than he likes baguettes.
Yep.
That
Messi's
final.
weird costume was really weird. They just dressed him in that outfit.
Yeah, they put that gown on Messi, didn't they?
He didn't know where to put his hands.
What did you think of the final?
It was all right. I liked
It's all right.
Mbappe was the second player to score a hat-trick in the World Cup final in history.
But he didn't win.
He didn't win, which also makes it a record. He's the first player to do that.
I guess so.
Because back in 1966, when that dude scored, England won the World Cup.
That's true.
Yep.
Go on then. How did your World Cup fantasy team get on?
I got 349 points.
Well done. I didn't play.
I had my bad final for defenders.
Yeah.
Upamecano -1, Varane -1, Koundé -1, Otamendi -2, Martinez -2.
Yeah, you had a whole defence and goalkeeper made up of France and Argentina players.
Yeah,
and they all just conceded loads of goals.
Okay, so that's -7 points.
Just for your defence, -7.
Yes.
Did you learn anything from that?
Try not to play defenders.
I guess it was tough because there weren't many teams left in, so you couldn't really.
It was 3-3.
Yeah, you couldn't really pick many players from other teams, could you?
No.
Well, what did it mean for your final rank in
Croatia was bad as well.
Yeah. What did it mean for your final rank in World Cup Fantasy?
In World Cup Fantasy, I finished 227,781st.
Were you happy with that?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
What about your mini league? You had a mini league, didn't you?
Yeah, I came 19th.
19th.
Mm-hmm.
I remember you saying a few weeks ago you wanted to come in the top 3.
I was only 16 away.
A few weeks ago, you were top of that league.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
You're not bothered.
Not bothered at all.
You came 19th out of how many?
48.
Well, that's not bad. That's well in the top half.
Yeah.
And you're only 8.
Yeah.
We had a look at your league and we saw a few of your usual listeners were in the league.
Yeah.
So where did some of your usual listeners come?
Well, Bad Teacher came top.
Bad Teacher won your FPL Kids World Cup mini league.
Yep. Humberto Felipe Martins came 6th.
You got a dance. Last time we did a live, you did a dance for Humberto.
Yeah.
Do you remember your Humberto dance?
Yeah.
Do you want to do it now? Humberto is going to do the dance.
It's very hard to see it, so I'm standing behind it.
Yeah, you kind of get the effect. Go on.
Humberto Felipe Martins!
If you are listening on the podcast, you really got to watch the video to see the dance.
Yeah.
So Humberto came 6th in your mini league.
Yep.
Who else? We picked out a couple more.
FPL Decaf came 23rd.
Right, so you beat him.
Yep.
Or she.
Yeah, don't know who it is. And then Tom Maskell / Bebara Came 28th.
28th.
Yeah.
So you beat some of your listeners.
Yeah.
You didn't beat other listeners.
Yeah.
Came 19th.
It's not actually that close to being well in the top half. I'm only 5 away.
Well, that's quite...
I'm 5 away from the middle of the league.
Yeah, but I'd say that's comfortably top half.
Yeah.
Well done, Blake. So is that World Cup is gone now?
Yeah.
That-
Bye-bye World Cup. I'll see you in 2026 in America.
Yeah. Back to FPL.
Yep.
So we're going to talk about your plans.
Yep.
Blake has been obsessively thinking about his team for game week 17 onwards.
Yep.
So it's a lot to take in, isn't it, having unlimited transfers again?
Yeah.
A couple of weeks ago, on episode 24 of the podcast, which was called Baguette Passion,
Yeah, the Baguette Passion.
you listed a team.
Yeah.
Who was your latest thinking?
Yeah.
Do you want to tell us who was in that team?
Ramsdale, Hine, White, Martinez, Henry, Trippier, Cancelo, Bowen, Rodrigo, Rashford, De Bruyne, Almiron, Haaland, Darwin, and Solanke.
Okay. So we discussed that team a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
And you liked some of the players, but you were still you weren't sure about some of the others.
Yeah.
You listed some players that you were definitely going to keep.
Yep.
And you said they were White,
Yep.
Trippier,
Yep.
Rodrigo,
Yep.
De Bruyne,
Yep.
Almiron,
Yep.
Haaland, and Darwin.
Yep.
Those 7 players are kind of nailed into your team.
Yeah.
And then you're not going to drop them.
Shall I get my hammer so I can actually nail them?
You can get your hammer later
Okay.
and nail them into your team.
Okay.
And you've done a latest draft. And I was wondering whether you were going to be true to your word, to be honest, but you have.
Yeah.
I've looked at your latest draft, and those 7 players are still there.
Yep.
So you've still got White, Trippier, Rodrigo, De Bruyne, Almiron, Haaland, and Darwin.
Yep.
You've also still got Cancelo and Solanke.
Mm-hmm.
So you've still got, 9 of the players
Yep.
that you were thinking about 2 weeks ago?
Yep.
So are you still thinking they're going to be in your team?
Yeah. Only only
What are you trying to think of?
how many players that I changed?
Well, you changed 6, I guess.
Is it? I thought there was only 14 players. No, it's 15.
There's 15
Yeah,
players in the
yeah,
squad.
15 players in the squad.
But you've done a latest draft a couple of days ago.
Yep.
So run us through that draft then.
Martinez, Olsen, White, Saliba, Christensen, Trippier, Cancelo, Martinelli, Rodrigo, Trossard, De Bruyne, Almiron, Haaland, Darwin, Solanke.
Okay, so quite similar,
Yeah.
but some key changes. You've
Goal
taken
keepers.
out your Arsenal keepers, Ramsdale and Hine.
Yeah.
And you've put in, is that 2 Aston Villa keepers?
Yeah.
Martinez and Olsen.
Mhm.
You've taken out Martinez, is that the Man United defender?
Yeah.
And you've put in Saliba.
Yeah.
You've taken out Rico Henry for Rasmus Christiansen.
Mm-hmm.
And you've taken out Bowen for Martinelli and Rashford for Trossard.
Mm-hmm.
I like the sound of that. And that's it.
Yeah.
Everything else is the same.
Yep.
I've got a few challenges for you.
What are they?
Well, on the podcast, just before the World Cup, you had a question from Tom Maskell.
Okay.
Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
Tom Maskell said, this is about 3 or 4 weeks ago.
Yes.
He said, what players are you definitely going to have after the World Cup?
Yeah.
Do you want me to tell you what you said?
Yeah.
Right, number 1, you said Crescencio Somerville. He's not in here.
No.
To be fair, he does seem to be injured.
Yeah.
All right, because he's not been playing in Leeds friendlies.
No.
All right, you said Bukayo Saka. He's not in here. What's going on?
Don't know.
You said Kepa. He's not in here.
So what?
Well, I mean, I'm impressed that the last players you said 2 weeks ago are still in here.
Yeah.
But what you told your listeners about 4 weeks ago, you've not done any of it.
Yeah.
Somerville,
There's no
Saka,
yet.
Kepa, where are they?
Don't know.
You also said you might look out for anyone who stars in the World Cup.
Yep.
Do you think you've done that?
Yep.
You do?
Yep.
Who have you brought in then?
Martinez.
Martinez.
Obviously Martinez.
All right. So changing Ramsdale to Martinez is just
Martinez
based.
is only 4.9.
Martinez is 4.9 million.
Yeah.
But, well, here's my challenge to you then. Have you looked at the fixtures?
Yes. Yes.
You've looked at the Aston Villa fixtures. before choosing Martinez this week?
No.
Do you want me to tell you?
What?
Aston Villa have got Liverpool away. No, sorry, Liverpool at home. Then Tottenham away. Then Wolves at home. Right, so they've got Liverpool and Spurs in the next 2 matches.
So
You still want
maybe I can replace them.
Oh, I'm not trying to convince you otherwise. I'm just making you aware.
Yeah, I might replace them.
You said Martinez is 4.9. Do you know who else is 4.9?
Who?
Ramsdale.
Is he?
But you've already got White, Saliba, Martinelli.
They're the better ones.
Do you know who's cheaper than Martinez or Ramsdale?
Who?
Kepa.
Oh yeah.
Kepa, who you said you were going to get in your team.
But then I have to have backup keeper Mendy.
Well, you could probably get Kepa and Mendy maybe for the same price as Martinez and Olsen. You'd have to have a look at that.
No.
You might be able to afford them both.
No, because last
Chelsea.
time I checked, Martinez is 4.9 and Olsen is 3.9.
Oh, is Olsen really cheap?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Maybe you can't afford them then. All right. Well, if you want Martinez, I'm just making you aware of the fixtures.
Okay, maybe I'll put in someone like Hugo Lloris then.
No, you don't have to change. You don't have to change. I'm just making you aware.
I know.
That's all I'm doing.
I know.
All right. I like some of your other picks. I would, White, Trippier, Cancelo. These are good. I mean, everybody's.
Why
gonna
aren't
have
you
them.
going for Saliba and Christensen?
Well, I want to say something about Saliba.
What?
I heard that Saliba is on 4 bookings this season, which means if he gets one more, he'll get a ban.
So.
Well, again, you don't have to do anything with that information. I just.
What about
thought-
Christensen?
Well, I'll come to Christensen in a minute. I'm just saying that Saliba costs 5.3.
Does he?
His defensive partner, Gabriel, 5.2.
So you want me to see 0.1?
I don't want you to do
It
anything.
makes no sense.
If you want to keep Saliba, you keep Saliba.
I keep Saliba.
Just making you aware. Christensen, I don't get this. You're going to have to explain why Rasmus Christensen. This is you. We've
He's
discussed
cheap.
this.
He's cheap. He's like 4.5 or something. He'll be on my bench the
He's
entire
four-
season.
He's 4.8.
Oh yeah, he's 4.8.
Not even that cheap.
He's more expensive than White now.
Again, a few
I remember it.
podcasts ago, I'm sure we talked about Leeds United bias seeping in.
Hey, what about Rodrigo?
Well, Rodrigo's an all right pick, isn't he? Because he has been scoring. He will probably play
He broke a
striker.
record with Somerville.
He did. So I don't mind Rodrigo, but Christensen at 4.8.
Yeah.
If you want a Leeds defender, look at. Do you know what I'm going to say?
What?
Pascal Strauch at 4.5.
Husky, yeah.
Strauch scored in our friendly recently.
Did he?
Yeah, he's been more effective than Christensen. If you really, I mean, I'm not going anywhere near the Leeds defence. If you want a Leeds defender, Strauch is cheaper and more effective.
Okay. I'll
But
think about that.
If you want Rasmus, you think he's back from the World Cup, he's revitalised.
See, Strauchy didn't go to the World Cup, which means Strauchy's not as good as Christensen.
Well, it just means that Strauch just wasn't picked for the Dutch squad.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm sensing you're not really going to change much based on these conversations, but in your midfield, I quite like what you're doing there.
Yeah.
I quite like you've got Martinelli, Rodrigo, Trossard, De Bruyne, and Almiron. I don't mind that.
Strike Force?
I mean, well, we'll get onto your strike force, but I like you've got triple Man City in this team. You've got Cancelo, De Bruyne, and Haaland. That's quite strong.
I think
isn't
I've got triple Arsenal.
you got White, Saliba, Martinelli. So yeah, these are good things.
Mm-hmm. I've got double Leeds,
Double Leeds, yeah.
double Aston Villa.
Well, yeah, but that's both goalkeepers, isn't it? And you got a couple of Newcastle players in there.
I got a Bournemouth player.
You have got a Bournemouth player, but a lot of people like Solanke because he's quite cheap. Well, he's 5.8.
Yeah.
You're not going to get a cheaper striker who kind of plays every week and might score.
No, you won't. You definitely
But-
won't.
Do you know what? We talked on the podcast last week about Alvarez of Man City.
Yeah, but he's something expensive.
No, he's only 6 million, which is 0.2.
Well, that's not 0.2. And I've also got Triple City.
You have got Triple City.
And no way I'm getting rid of Cancelo, De Bruyne, or Haaland.
Okay, so that means that you can't get Alvarez anyway
No,
because of
no
that.
way am I getting Alvarez.
The other striker then that I would bring your attention to is Nketiah at 6.5.
6.5.
Yeah, so it's 0.7.
You think I have 0.7 mil?
I've no. Are you right up against your budget?
You
with this
think
team?
I have 0.7 mil?
I don't know. Have you spent all your budget on this team?
Nah, I have about 0.3 left.
You've got 0.3 left.
Yeah.
All right, so you can't get up to Nketiah.
Of course I can't.
In that case, do you know what? I think Solanke is fine.
I mean, look how much money I must have put into that team. You think I have 0.7 mil left?
Well, no, I don't, I guess.
Okay,
I mean,
I
your,
thought so.
your midfield is really strong. Do you
I
know
know.
what? Almiron. I mean, I think I will keep Almiron as well, but it makes me a little bit nervous
Why?
because he's never played like this before these last few weeks. What if he's just lost his momentum over the World Cup break?
You think a Paraguayan can lose energy?
You know, Newcastle played in the Carabao Cup last night and he didn't score.
So?
Okay, I think I'm going to keep Almiron.
That's not the Prem.
I'm going to keep Almiron as well. I'm just a little bit nervous about that.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I also want to bring your attention to some double game weeks that are coming up.
Double game weeks. I love double game weeks because then I can get to Holland. He gets.
They're only small ones,
Okay.
but there's a double game week in week 19. So this coming up is 17, but then in week 19, Chelsea have got a double game week, but they are playing Man City and Fulham. And Fulham have got a double game week against Leicester and Chelsea.
Why would I take a Fulham player?
If you're going for a Fulham player, you'd be looking at your favourite.
Mitrovic! Get off it, man.
You're not tempted by Mitrovic?
No, Mitrovic.
Oh, Mitrovic is still tempting.
No, I'm not getting Mitrovic.
He got some goals in the World Cup, you know.
Andres Pereira.
Pereira.
It's like 4.6 or something.
Yeah, but your midfield, really
Too
strong.
good. It's too good.
Your midfield's really strong.
Yep.
You've gone for De Bruyne because actually FPL Rane a few weeks ago asked you if Salah was a good pick. And you did say not for the long term.
Not for the long term.
So you're still thinking that?
Yeah.
You've chosen De Bruyne as like a premium midfielder.
Yeah.
So you're not tempted. I mean, look, with that double game week, Chelsea have got double game week. And we talked about Chelsea goalkeepers.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe.
No,
But they're
have
playing
you seen the Chelsea defence recently?
Well, yeah, if I remember rightly, Chelsea have lost their last 3 Premier League matches.
Yes.
So, but they might have regrouped. Potter might have got them playing now.
No, he hasn't.
Although on your podcast a few weeks ago, we talked about your highs and lows of the season, didn't we?
Yeah.
And we said one of your lows
It's Chelsea
was
players.
Chelsea players.
I'm cursed with Chelsea players.
You've had Gallagher, Koulibaly, Havertz. Who else have you had? I think you brought in someone else.
I
at
think
one
I had
point as well.
Kepa at one point.
Did you have Kepa?
I had Kepa at one point.
You've had a few different Chelsea players. None of them have worked out.
No.
Gallagher's in your team at the moment, but he's definitely one that you're losing.
Yeah.
Along with like Solanke, you've got Van Dijk.
Slanky?
No, not Solanke. Who did I mean? I mean Skamaka.
Yes.
You're definitely
And
losing Skamaka. Wilson, Gallagher. You've got Eric Dyer. You've got Virgil van Dijk. You're getting rid of all of these. Perisic. You're getting rid of all of these. Melier. This, you know what? When you list those players, this new team is looking a lot better.
Yep.
I think you're ready to attack the second half of the season.
Attack!
Let me tell you about another double game week.
Okay.
Game week 20 is a double game week for Man City. But you've already got Triple City, so you don't really need to think about that.
But I can captain Haaland. And instead of getting 48 points, he can get 86. Not, isn't
You try to double
96.
96. You think Haaland? Okay, Blake is predicting Haaland is going to haul 96 points game week 20.
Yes.
So you've heard that. That means that Spurs also have a double game week, but they are playing Arsenal and City, who are the top 2.
And also, their defence is very annoying because Perisic hardly ever plays and Dyer hardly ever keeps clean sheet.
So you don't fancy going near that Spurs defence?
No.
No, I agree. And that, to be honest, a double game week against Arsenal and City is not that tempting, is it?
No.
But Man City, you've already got 3 players there. So
Yeah.
actually, these double game weeks don't really make much of a difference.
No.
You just might want to think about Fulham striker from Serbia,
Called Mitrovic.
or a Chelsea double game week. But one of those games is City, so maybe not.
Yeah, not Chelsea. I'm cursed. Cursed.
All right. So based on this conversation, Blake, what are you thinking? Because you've not got long now. You've not got long with your team now.
No.
Are you going to look at any of this again?
Yeah, because of those Aston Villa players and probably Christensen.
All right. So you think
The rest is going to stay the same.
you're going to keep the
Unless
rest?
I have enough money for Nketiah, which I won't do.
Right. Well, you might. Do you know what? If you've got a little bit in the bank, if you downgraded Christiansen to a cheaper defender,
Mm-hmm.
if you took Christiansen down to like Nico Williams,
How cheap is Nico
I
Williams?
think he's about 4 mil.
And does he keep a clean sheet? No.
But let's be honest. Look at the strength of this squad. If you keep Christiansen, he's going to be on your bench every week, isn't he? Because you're going to play White, Saliba, Trippier, Cancelo.
And if I got Nico Williams, he'd also
just
be
stick
on
him
my
in the
bench the entire time.
So you might as well save the cash and put it somewhere else.
Where have I put an extra 0.8 mil?
You just said you might go Solanke to Nketiah.
Or I could get rid of Martinelli.
But you can't get Nketiah because you've already got triple Arsenal. So
I
maybe just
told you.
forget the whole thing.
I said even if I did, I wouldn't do it.
All right. Well, you could go Christiansen to Strauch if you really, or just a different defender. Like Leeds are not going to. Do you know what Leeds' next fixtures are?
Man City and
Man City and Newcastle are Leeds' next 2 fixtures.
Yeah. Man City.
We ain't keeping
Man
clean
City
sheets.
home on Boxing Day.
It's not on Boxing Day. It's on the 28th. But
Oh, is it?
yeah, we're going to it. Yeah,
Oh yeah.
we're going to Ellen Road 28th.
Yeah.
And then I think the Newcastle game might be New Year's Eve, but
New Year's Eve. No way.
I think so.
No way.
But Leeds are not keeping clean sheets in these next 2 games.
No.
So, is it worth having Christiansen?
No.
Well, it's up to you. This is your team, not my team. My team's a bit different.
And your team's gonna lose, mate.
Oh, don't take my
Your
hat
team's
off.
gonna lose. Your team's gonna lose. Oh, speaking of songs, we had a question from.
We've just had a question from Gamst. FPL Gamst has just asked Blake if he wants to do an FPL Kids, like an FPL themed 12 Days of Christmas song.
Yes.
But Blake, at the moment, doesn't have enough ideas to fill 12 lines of that song.
So we need your help. Your help.
We need you, listeners.
You guys.
Well, go on then. What help do you want from your listeners?
I want ideas, people. Ideas. I need the first, the second, the third, the fourth, the fifth, the sixth, the seventh, the eighth, the ninth, the 10th, the 11th, and the 12th. And put all the best ideas together and make a big song.
Great. So what, do you want your listeners to tweet their ideas?
Yeah, or we can make the 10,000 Days of Christmas if you want.
Let's stick to 12 Days of Christmas.
Okay.
So where should they tweet their ideas?
So FPL_kids, which is on Twitter.
So if anybody's got any ideas for what would go in an FPL themed 12 Days of Christmas song, send them.
Or if I'm correct, you can leave comments on YouTube videos if you don't have Twitter.
Or comments on this YouTube video.
If you don't have Twitter, there's YouTube there.
And if we get enough ideas, you're going to sing it.
Yeah.
And we'll release it as like an FPL Kids song
Yeah.
on Christmas Eve.
Maybe.
All right.
If we have enough ideas by that time.
Well, you best get sending your ideas then.
Yeah. 3 days.
You've got 3 days to send in the ideas. If you want to hear Blake do an FPL themed 12 Days of Christmas.
Yep.
And Blake is really up for this.
Yeah. I'm up for the 12 Days of Christmas.
Oh, he's just thrown the hat across the room. Proper rock and roll is Blake.
Yeah.
All right, are we done?
Yep.
Well, do you want to do your famous farewell that people actually get to see, not just hear?
Thank you for listening to FPL Kids. Subscribe and leave a good review. Follow FPL Kids on Twitter at FPL_kids. And one more thing, farewell!
Farewell.